Hi, Jody. Can you tell me a little bit about your Brexit and Beyond British Politics course that is available for enrollment for spring 2021?
Sure. The class a few years ago got a focus really on the Brexit. And it's an interesting time in British politics because they've had so much change going on. And so the course really focuses on both British politics, sort of the British government system at all levels, Britain's relationship with Europe, and then sort of a US-British kind of comparison. Because we find that for students in the US, that's an easy way to access like another country.
So this course is normally a study abroad course that travels in London, but due to the pandemic, we aren't able to. What kind of content will the course include this spring 2021?
Right. Obviously, it's a big loss for us not to be able to travel with students because that's a really important experiential part of the class. So what we're hoping to do is try to incorporate some of the visitors that we've had in the past, sort of piping them into our class experience for our students. And that includes, sort of government offices, everything from our contacts in Parliament to the court system, to local government, nonprofits, media, and the diplomatic wing of things. We usually take students to the American Embassy, so we have contacts there, and they really give us a good insight into sort of what the role is of the United States government within the country of United Kingdom. And so the idea is that we will be able to incorporate some of the folks that we usually invite to meet us when we're on site into the class itself. And so the hope is that, we won't be able to replicate the experience for students, but hopefully we'll be able to, give them a little bit of a window into what it's like to be in country and to be talking about some of these topics that we're covering in the class. And then the class, of course, is primarily a course on contemporary Britain, with a focus on politics, but also really on this sort of unique experiment of that's known as Brexit, which is the British exit from the European Union. And it's still evolving, it's still unfolding, if you will, and it's not completely clear if this is going to be a crash out of the European Union for Britain, or if this will be sort of like a softer kind of landing, parachute out, if you will. And so what that means is, some uncertainty for the country, and uncertainty with our transatlantic relations as well. And so, with a new administration coming into the United States government, that will kind of do somewhat of a reset. A new president will be resetting sort of what is our relationship with the United Kingdom, but also the changes that are going on over there mean that, the traditional relationship that the United Kingdom and the United States may have had in the past is likely to shift. And what does that mean for Britain, that it's no longer going to be officially part of the European Union? Because there are both advantages and disadvantages to those kinds of changes. So we'll be kind of investigating all of those things right as they unfold.
And then Abby, you can speak to this too. What makes this a great time right now studying British politics for our UNO students?
So Brexit has divided both British citizens and the House of Commons. And as we begin to transition out of that European Union, while also enduring the global pandemic, as well as considering the tense social climate and issues that transpired in England since the murder of George Floyd in the United States, understanding British politics now is not only important, but also a unique learning experience.
Yeah, I think it is. As Abbie mentioned, the same kinds of sort of international issues that are happening to us in the United States and at UNO for our students are also transpiring with similar and maybe some different effects in the UK. And so, we're all in the pandemic. so how do countries respond to pandemic conditions? What kinds of public health, what kinds of political messaging, what kinds of, safety and health responses have been put in place. I mean, those are all things that I think, are relevant both to our students, but also to our understanding of the world. And for a lot of reasons, the United Kingdom is a great country for students in the United States and in Nebraska to be examining. Obviously, we took a lot of our institutions from the British system. They are our strongest global partner. The UK and the US, have had a really strong and enduring relationship, despite the fact that, we were once a colony of the United Kingdom. So yeah, in terms of, everything from international affairs to our economic situation to even the security relationship between the two countries is strong enough that we have British soldiers stationed here in Omaha, Nebraska at Offutt Air Force Base and as part of U.S. Strategic Command that have access to pretty much all of our intelligence and, military and strategic information. And so that really is a good testimony, I think, to the enduring relationship of the United Kingdom and the United States, and makes it a very relevant country if you are a student in the US to try to understand and to try to, understand the changes going on and what those mean for global society.
Jody, you've been leading students to England since 2004, and many of them have had such positive experiences. Can you kind of speak to that and what those benefits are?
Absolutely. I remember one student in particular talking about how it became like her best interview question when she went on job interviews, because, she could mention, oh, I did the study abroad. And even though it's a short-term study abroad, and a lot of people don't think, that you can get the benefits out of a short-term study abroad. We know that at UNO, those kinds of experiences fit really well for our students. They are the fastest growth area for study abroad for UNO students. And you do get benefits. You really get the ability to, navigate a new place, but it's with the safety of, some folks there that but there's a lot of adventures that our students typically have that, are sometimes transformative in terms of the way that they, go about the rest of their academic experience, maybe even career changes. We've had students move there. I had an alum recently reach out to me, and he was one of the early ones that went on our trip, and he works for a global company, and he manages their London accounts. And for him, he said, it was being able to step outside of the United States and do our short little trip that really piqued that interest in him and that curiosity to do more and more. And so I think that, while we can't capture that without the travel portion of the class, what we hope to do, I think, what any educator hopes to do that teaches global content is, spark that interest and that hopefully that passion that, that students will want to pursue opportunities in the future.